Hello viewers and welcome to this sit-down interview with me, Larry Evande. Today we're talking about something which is in the lip of everyone, from WhatsApp fora to university lecture halls, generative AI. Estimates show that about $15.7 trillion will be added to the global economy by 2030 from artificial intelligence. So Cameroon and Africa in general should pick up a slice of this amount through startups. To have this conversation with me is a social innovator, a serial entrepreneur, and agile project manager, Franklin Abungo, with whom we will see how ready the Cameroonian youth are for digital innovation. Hello, Franklin. It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you, Mr. Larry.
My very first worry, like most of you watching this, is will AI take your jobs? Jobs like I'm thinking of the Irish potato farmer in Santa, the cocoa farmer in Ekiliwindi, that person who sells fresh tomato and farms them from Fumbot, and our sesame farmers from the north. Will you have your jobs taken by artificial intelligence? Franklin, are there some jobs that in the next decade we can have AI amplify them and not replace humans?
Okay, right. Permit me answer yes and no.
Okay.
So it is a two-faceted subject. Yes, indeed, artificial intelligence is here and it's here forever. It's gonna get even faster, but the whole point is it's gonna take jobs. Let's be clear on that. But on the flip side, it's gonna create new avenues. So since you mentioned about our mothers who are doing agriculture, when we put in factor, like when we factor in our current state of readiness in terms of, in comparison to the world, it might not be apparent that these jobs are going to be taken as fast as you see in the Western world. But we have to take this with caution, because when we are talking about digital innovation, it is something that can sprout really fast if all the conditions are there to make it happen. So immediately, in the short run, that doesn't seem evident, like it's going to take so many jobs in the farming sector. Though it is actually doing that in terms of replacing certain aspects, like there are drones that go about, that's part of robotic automation that goes about to do jobs that humans did before. But it's doing that at a slower rate compared to other global indices. Now, on the other hand, this is creating enormous and new avenues for job creation. By the way, we have a demographic advantage to other parts of the world. So we have a rich workforce. Now, what can we do with that, with this technological revolution? We need to put all this together and help the young people exploit these new avenues. I can tell you for sure, there are young people who are out there creating applications that are boosting agricultural productivity everywhere in Africa and in Cameroon especially. So these are new job opportunities that are brought by AI. Though it's taking some, it's building more, I would say.
Now let's talk about education.
Right.
Sorry for cutting you short there.
Sure.
Education, artificial intelligence and education. What are some of the scholarly debates which exist in this? Because we have people saying that it's making youth lazier and although it makes work easier, but it's draining ingenuity, intuition. Is that true?
Now, when you put this in perspective, you have an artificial intelligence, which is what they massively consume, and this is what scholarly big wins try to, you know, be cautious about that most of their work is not original. So again, that is debatable what is original, because when you get information out of artificial intelligence, you must have an intuitive mind. So another reality we have to deal with is that we are going to be dealing with young people who are very intuitive. You need to be very critical in how you think, in how you craft the search words to get out the relevant information. That it itself takes lots of skills. It takes a decent level of intelligence to achieve that. And to be fair, this is the reality of the youth in the world and Cameroonian youth. The reality of the young people is they don't need to travel to other parts of the world to gain particular certificates or to gain skills and knowledge. From right here in Cameroon, I can tell you I'm affiliated to Harvard Kennedy School, not because I traveled there, but because of distant and visual learning, seminars, discussions, talks. I just gained a certification with the leaders of Africa in impact research from the comfort of my home and my desk. So these are realities that these youth have to live with. And during this time when we discuss about the youth as a build-up to the Youth National Day, it is very important that we do not leave this responsibility just to the youth.
We have an issue that, okay, Cameroonians are more consumers. The Cameroonian youth are more consumers of the revolution. So the AI and all of that, most of the things which are available at the back end, at the database, were put up, uploaded by people out of here. In a statistic you shared earlier, you mentioned 10%, only 10% of what's available in the web is coming from sub-Saharan Africa. So which means we are only consuming what isn't ours, or AI's hallucination for the most part of the time. What can Cameroonian youth do to be participatory in this ingenious move of technology?
Now the question is, do they have the infrastructure? Do they have the framework? And
what do you mean by infrastructure?
So infrastructure, I would first, there is a debate about if the electricity is the mother of digital revolution or it's the internet. But I would think it's both, because without electricity, you can't have internet. Without internet, you can't have this kind of digital revolution. So we need both.
So we need both electricity and good internet.
Right. So talking about internet, that is a key driver to technological information. We are really lagging behind in terms of not just the global trend, but sub-Sahara. I'll give you an example. We have like data that gets across various sources. Averagely, the cost of internet bandwidth in Cameroon stands at somewhere around 14,500 francs a month, which is more than 30% higher compared to thriving economies in Africa like Kenya. That I would also want to highlight as well, the aspect of connectivity. When you look at also data across the internet, you would understand that most of the coverage in Cameroon is in the urban areas.
So to conclude, since we have just a few more minutes to go, what solution are you proposing
Right.
to the powers that be. I know we have lots of initiatives around. We have
Right.
the Digital Week, which is carried out by the Ministry of Post and Telecommunications.
Right.
We have entrepreneurial courses in some
Right.
state universities.
Right.
And we equally have schools, technical, vocational training centers.
Right.
Is this enough?
Right. So basically, it's very easy to anchor when you're talking about public policies and issues of national interest. So, but again, I'll borrow from the Harvard Kennedy School Dean, who says there exists a huge mismatch between the impact assessment reports in public domains and what is in the grassroots. Of course, we can upload all these efforts, but what does that truly translate to when we are talking or when we have discussions or deliberations on the majority of the population? How significant is that? That's a question we must ask ourselves as a nation. Of course, there is also the issue of the ecosystem where decisions makers live in. Do they have touch of what a normal young Cameroonian lives? We need to transform snacks and bars, pleasure, chasing, to real work. We need to create hubs that should be as many like we have all these recreational facilities. Right now is the time that we all have to take the sleeves up to meet up to the global competition that we are really lagging far behind.
Thank you very much, Mr. Franklin Abungwo, social innovator, agile project manager, an entrepreneur who has tested and has seen that things can work and be better if all hands come on deck and we live in this ecosystem which is similar to that of the current age in which we are. Thanks for being our guest.
Thank you so much.